Frith. One of the benefits of studying the Hávamál is to gain an understanding not only of the teachings of Odin, but also the culture in which those teachings are relevant. So when we start to read into the Hávamál, we start to see that there's some subjects that come up over and over and over again. For instance, things to deal with hosts and guests, or things to deal with weapons, or women and men, or friendship, or courage. Things like fools and the wise, common sense, things to be cautious of. All these things we see help us understand what it was like for our northern ancestors, especially during that time. So this last week I've been focusing on friendship, something that I'm seeking to cultivate in my life more, to have more meaningful and intentional relationships. So it was perfect reading the Hávamál at this time for me. Is it helps begin that dialogue, shall we say. There's in the description in this video, I've put the different stanzas of each of the sayings, which the numbers, and then also I put a link to my Patreon page that breaks down these different stanzas and kind of relates it in a modern way, shall we say. So this week it has been about friendship, and I just wanted to share a little bit about what I've learned. So some of the things that Odin instructs us to do is to make sure that we give, food and clothing and weapons and support to our friends, that we go out of our way to honor them, to respect them, to listen to them, to have an exchange, right? Meaningful, reciprocal exchange that is balanced and uplifting for both parties. What else? Odin talks about. He talks about making the effort to visit your friends often. Don't let the grass grow over the path, is one of the verses. What else? There's an interesting thing that I love with the North. There's this sense of balance, and there's quite a few verses that talk about friends, but these are more like either friends that have something that we seek, but they're not people that we'd actually interact with in a conscious way, but for instance, a boss or something, or someone that has some resources that so you want to keep the friendly relationship up, but it's not deep or anything like that. So it talks about that, and then there are also people that just outright are somewhat antagonistic to us. Maybe not so far as an enemy, but assholes and shits, basically. And even though so what's interesting is the teaching is to, like, if they're going to be a dick, fuck them, be a dick back. It's not this golden rule shit where you're gonna go and you're gonna be nice to everybody even though they're a dick, just for the idea that be unto others as you wish them to be unto you, that kind of weird twisted thing. But it's not like that. Come at people respectfully. That's one of the things that Odin talks about is, be respectful, be giving and kind, You know, have that initial intention and interaction to be, you know, beneficial and helpful and uplifting, you know. But if through that building of the relationship you start to see that this person's an ass, then it's just like, well, fuck them, you know. So it's an interesting difference in my experience, you know, because I'm definitely was raised through that kind of that Christian morality where we're supposed to be good and stuff to all, you know, right? But no, that's not the case. In fact, like there's people that might even be good, might even be like awesome in a sense, but Oda talks about, you know, if they're an enemy with our friend, then we don't befriend them. We don't create that, because that just, you know, that's going to create a lot of shit and problems, you know. So there is that sense of loyalty through our connections, right? Through the bridges and relationships that we've built. There is a sense of loyalty, so that even if there is a you know, another person that possibly could actually be of good relations, but has conflict with our current friends, you know. So that's it's an interesting thought, you know, because then of course I could say that friendships change and evolve and grow and interconnections can be built. So that one could be difficult sometimes, I can imagine. Like in my my little meditations on these verses, I give the example of me having been in this like just gnarly, I mean definitely one of the darkest relationships I've ever been in my life, let's just put it that way. It took me down to a pretty bad place. Yeah, we had common friends, right? And I had to break apart because it was so toxic and so poisonous to me that it was tearing me up. So I like actually lost a huge group of friends just because I don't I didn't want to put them in that situation in the first place, and then also I didn't want to have any means of getting connected to my ex, you know. So I broke away from the majority of my friends, but then I did try to keep or stay connected to some, you know, some friends that I knew before, but even that like fell apart. So it definitely gets complicated. Let's just put it that way. Anyhow, yeah, that's sweet. I hope you're well and you have a great week. Frith.